What's going on, everybody? Yo, 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 yo. I just came on stream without water. Okay, let's go, let's go. Okay, I guess it's not necessary. Yo, yo, yo. What did that say? Add linear fog. I believe. Terrain saving and loading. Yeah, we'll go with that, I think. Terrain saving and loading. And that was the render function. Okay, so I've got my little to-do list. Got the engine at the top, and as you can see, the terrain there. We have certain tools that will let us edit the terrain directly in the engine, make the mountains higher, create valleys, smooth out the land, the terrain, and so on. But then when you restart the engine, it just goes, it's gone. So it's not saved. It's like, you know, you save a game, you save your progress. So first we need to identify in the code what we need to save, which I did a bit of yesterday, but I didn't finish it. Well, it's not beer and it's not red wine, but it will get me through this session. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a bit of a. I was in Italy a few months ago. What was I gonna say? Yeah, that was like a placeholder picture, and I was gonna put a few in. I just forgot about that. So does that mean I'm running off that thumbnail now? Oh no, I was 3 hours late for my own stream, but I'm not surprised by me. Also, if you see mine, you might not want a web camera. Everybody's comfortable with different things, but so I've got some transparency on the Visual Studio. I've got a background picture, and the cyberpunk things maybe not. It's not really true to me. I don't think the theme, but people will see that when YouTube's recommending to click on the next channel, and I think it brings some people in. Again, I don't think it's necessarily my flavor, but I think it's just okay for now. It's a bit messy. The to-do list is quite ugly. No, it wasn't awkward, bro. I just forgot about it. It wasn't awkward at all. Good looking ladies. Good looking man. Hurt your viewership. Nah, especially not in the field of tech. It's authenticity, bro. Hit subscribe. I saw somebody just came in. That's what we do here. I think with your channel, I can see you're going to be consistent, and that's all you need. Right? You just need knowledge and consistency, and then just tweak one thing each time. You put your video in, the last two videos, the video of your engine, you put that in the corner. You've sorted your audio out, and just each time you would just tweak a new thing. That's all you need to do, really. I've just made my text size a bit bigger. Like, the text size is too big for me, but the viewers need it. And I've had people complain in the comments, actually. So there's always going to be people with bad eyesight. You can't stream for them, but you can make it a bit bigger. Anyway, thanks for swinging by. Okay, I've got a to-do list on the side of the screen as well. Identify all vectors to save. I need a quick script from ChatGPT, to be honest. You know, I'm going to try DeepSeek, which is the new Chinese Illuminati-powered AI. Excuse me. DeepSeek, is it? I've already registered it, but I've not used it really. So it's DeepSeek, which is causing, anyone in AI will know anyway, but it's causing a lot of stirs. Okay, let's see how much of this I can paste. I I don't really need all that, to be fair. Just the render function that tells you here, render. Yep. I'm just pasting in this is the music list the playlist I use. People tend to like it. I know you don't want to copy, but I don't know if you're playing yours and it gives a copyright strike, but then there's a note saying that the user allows it, so it's not a strike. Really. By the way, what's my levels like? My volume. Because I don't use an earpiece. When the music's playing, I hear it in real time as well, so then it can loop back. So I can't really have my music too loud, unfortunately. Generate, was it raw? No, it was export raw. Let's just type raw. Export to raw. What was it? Sweet. Okay, put the music up. Switch the gain. Let's get this pop thing away. Thanks for the feedback. Just sometimes I don't want to record myself for 20 seconds and test it. I actually like the music quite loud, but it obviously can't ruin the experience. But I like it. For the user, I like it as loud as possible. What's funny is you probably see things wrong with my stream and I see same with you. I don't mind any feedback, man. Do you consider them big projects? Marriage is the big project. Once you've leveled and completed marriage, you're all good. It's like, did you see the Kickstarter project? What was the game called? It's like not Starfield, but it's a space game. It raised like $500 million, and they're just making it forever. It's just a marketing strategy to get infinite viewership. Actually, shout out Finn Matrix. I think his first project was an MMO and he never finished it. And he probably could now, he'd probably say, I would guess. Check out Finn Matrix YouTube tutorials, OpenGL. But I think that's where he learned. So it's all about the journey. Yeah, I ain't done marriage either. Let's have a look. Seems to come over here. So if there's anybody in chat who does YouTube streams, why did my third video get 2,000 views? My third video with 2,000 watch hours, which for some people is 6 months work. And then my next video, my next 50 videos got only 5% of that. And nothing really changed. Why does that happen? Yeah, it's interesting. And that's the lens that I've seen that's how I see my project, really. Because you can feel the systems breaking and you can fix them, but then you're probably not going to stream. And I guess I see myself through the lens of his trial and error and learning. As long as you're learning, I'm happy. Okay, so where are we generating data? Because none of this is terrain mesh as the function implies. Okay. So if that's all going, some of these buffers are no longer used. I really like when I just see OpenGL code. I feel at home. Is that the autism? What is that? I don't have autism, but shout out the autism. Okay, DeepSeek, this is your first test. I want to export all the vectors prior to their use in the what is called the GL pointers, vertex attribute pointers, vertex attribute pointers, and then save to text files to be loaded into vectors later. Essentially saving a scene. Actually, I saw a comment. I don't know if you've used DeepSeek, but it's basically better than ChatGPT, or it's free and equivalent to the ChatGPT paid version. And there's a lot of controversy. It's come out of China. It's even tracking the style that you type and the keystroke. I don't know why that data is important, but they said it was a small company that's made it, and I just don't think that's possible. Trump mentioned it in his speech today as well, just saying it's been a wake-up call to American AI dominance. Okay, it's still typing a result. Interesting. Wow. This needs to be shared on screen, I think, because it's new. I remembered your name as well, actually. You might have spoke to me when I was in Israel, and the bombs are in the background. I'm in England now. Nice picture and a quiet scene. I would say no calculus really. Like I did calculus for maybe 1 month, maybe like a few years ago, so I can't remember anything. I know calculus to the point where if I learnt it again, it would the concepts would return, come flooding back. And very basic algebra. But then I've learned some linear algebra. I think I would just say I'm somebody that could learn maths to definitely a first or second year university level. That's my self-assessment, but I just haven't. You can just kind of gauge yourself once you've done so much learning. So when I'm presented with linear algebra, and I can grasp it. My memory historically has been quite bad, but you learn. There's a few things from linear algebra, like for rotations, and what else for light reflections, the sun. That you need. You just need to understand the theory, though. You don't need to understand Like, you're not really doing the maths, but you do need to understand a bit of the theory, how it works. Yeah, things like the dot product. So like, here's the surface of your model, and then the sun's coming in at this angle, so it bounces that at this angle, and the more, like, the greater the angle of reflection, the more light's reflected, or the less. And this is a lot to do with the dot product. There's just different things. There's maybe 5 things that I've looked at. They just come up, they present themselves. So you ask ChatGPT or you Cherno, a YouTube tutorial, how do I do this? And it will just introduce a concept. And there's some things where you need to go back and understand something else before, but most things there's not. So like in the UK, if you was got, our grading system is like A, B, C, D, E, F. I think F is the final. And a C student, like what might be considered average in most countries, would grasp it. Yeah. And this is why I started with 2D as well, because I'm gonna say there's a lot less maths in 2D. But linear algebra, maybe that sort of like trigonometry, that's the kind of thing you're dealing with. But the beauty is you might struggle on it for 2 months on a certain thing, or even just a week, but then it's finished forever. And you've created that dynamic in your game. So you've got the concept of shadows in your engine, and then you've got the concept of like reflections, physics. Because if you're making a game or an engine, you've created that brick, you've laid that block, it's finished. And then when you do your next game, you're just gonna borrow from that. You make it a bit better, but it's done. You've done it. But you can kind of look at people's code and you think, oh, this guy must be more intelligent than they are, and it's not always the case. But I do envy people that have got degrees in maths and then they think they want to learn coding. I'm like, this is going to be easy for you. But then they might lack creativity and artistic design. So then you get people who create like really, really technical, like real-time strategy games that are they look very ugly, and they don't perceive how bad it looks, because they're so interested in the system and they're so interested in the coding. But and you see it on Twitter, on X, people will put videos of the little systems they've made in the engine, and I'm like, nobody's gonna buy this game because of how fun that was to create. It won't translate into gameplay. Too much water. Yeah, once you've done something, you've done it. And even for, like, I've nearly quit this a few times, and not even for emotionally driven reasons. I've just like forgot almost. But then I'll go back to some of my code and see something in the system, and I'll be impressed. I'm like, I actually achieved something here. People waste time, so much time in their lives. One way to invest time is in learning. And even if you don't finish a project, you've still taught your brain to learn, especially as you're getting older. Most people don't learn new things as they age, but if you can always unlearn and learn, that's an end product. Hit subscribe for them gold gems. Right, am I procrastinating? No, I wanted to get in what did I want to get in? The new GPT or the new LLM. Was this bad boy here? I feel like one of the biggest challenges would be syncing like an MMO. I find animation has been more of a challenge than the maths for sure, and I think because the maths it's more difficult, but it's there's not a lot to it. There's like just a few functions maybe for a given outcome that you need. Whereas animation, it's very simple, but maybe there's 20 simple systems all tied together. And then, so to face that, you need 3 hours and not 30 minutes. And then to need 3 hours of learning something new, you can't just press stream. Right, let's look at something for 3 hours. Let's learn a new language for 3 hours publicly on a stream. You can't do that. That's why I've put animation to the side, but I'm still creating other functions in my engine that I need just as much. Animation will come back next week. Yeah, good for you. Good for you. So come back to it. Okay, let's see what. Tacitus. I'm not sure how to say your name. Tacitus. They say you just say it confidently. Tacitus. Tacitus. I don't know what it means. But what are you working on? Okay, and let me go to the DeepSeek. Right, a function that serializes each vector into a file. Yes, this is what we're doing. So this is another ChatGPT basically. That you can load these. I wonder if it's going to use. How is it going to save them? Just a text file. Save a vector to file. I like this. Sometimes if you don't know exactly how something's going to work, you can just see the concepts and then all of a sudden it's like the map, it just all gives you clarity. Okay, so that can come off screen now. Should I? Yeah. I don't know if you're still around, the Hambone. What's the story with the name? But I only streamed because of what your little speech in your stream about keep going. I was gonna go to bed. Okay, so I'm going to create some global functions. I should have put them in. I'll just put them in engine. Is that like an Americanism, sip on? Does that imply alcohol? Or is it just alcohol by chance? So I've got some orange juice here, which is like the anti-alcohol. It's the most non-alcohol drink. It's the most feminine drink you could have on stream. Or a top 5. So I think yesterday I had red wine. Probably the last 3 days. Well, I had a glass of red wine earlier, so I didn't want to take another. I need to get my Tokyo Drift on and just start blazing them with my shirt off. Get them 20,000 views in. Okay, so how am I going to approach this? I just want some functions. Yeah, Yeah, I'll put it in the engine and I'll make them public. Functions for serializing vectors to save engine data to file and to load up. Yeah, what's interesting as well is, well, first he just sits on a sofa for 10 hours with no posture. I couldn't do that for 20 minutes. I think his strength, other than his just the whole vibe, is he already has the knowledge, so you're not getting stuck, so you can flow. Yeah, he's got that hipster vibe going on with his $5 web camera. But yeah, it's a whole vibe. I only have good things to say about that stream. I never watch it, but I used to go in for 2 minutes at a time, and it's really good. Okay. Void. Save. That's it. File. It's going to be really fun if I'm loading up some saved terrain. Was it a GeoFlow? Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. The music's nice. It's got all the vibe down. And I think some of the 3D models has got like the women. I can see how, because you get the thumbnail presented if you're a new viewer, and you just see half naked model, and it catches the eye. It just does. But I just didn't want to go that way. You need your own niche. It reminds me when I was learning sales years ago. Yeah. I think 98% of my viewership is men when I checked like 2 days ago. But when I was learning sales, I had noticed that I would imitate somebody who was good and I could sell like them. But then I came away from it. That was like a support or like a stabilizer. I would copy someone's style, but then you build some confidence and you step into your own authenticity. So that's why I don't copy off people. I think I just know when you're in your 30s, you get a grounding in who you are. And I'm also tempted to put some budget into just advertising my channel. $100, get 5,000-10,000 views. But I don't know if I think until I get 1,000 viewers organically, I think that might be a bad move. Yeah, no hot chicks watching this stream. any of our streams. I know the Cherno. Shout out the Cherno. I know he's got no hot chicks watching either. Yeah, we're the same age group, really. The best streamer that I like at the minute, it's not software, but it's Asmongold. He does 20 videos a day. He's I don't know what it is about him I don't know why I like him. Yeah, the Cherno is really good. I can see how Asmongold, because he's very political, or I don't think he's political. But naturally he is, but he hides it by just doing reaction videos. But he keeps it's somewhat of a neutrality. but I do like him. Who, the Cherno. So OF stream is out file. Called file and then file name. Okay, so that's the constructor or something. Yeah, I'm a bit older than you, but I think we're probably the same age where I'm guessing you could code when you was younger, or at least I don't know, I was like in touch with coding when I was a teen, but I didn't do it so much. There wasn't YouTube to learn. But if I went back to 15 now, 2 years of YouTube, I'd be a millionaire. But I just, you don't know it's going to blow up like this. I had a run on, I never did crypto, but I did sell hardware, GPUs. And I didn't scout because I had a business account. So when all the GPUs were apparently sold out, I was able to get them in the era of scalping. And yeah, we made some money then, but it was only for like 6 weeks and it just died. And I've just had so many windows where I've nearly, you know, struck oil but didn't. Yeah. Okay. If is open. So I'm using DeepSeek here, and I want to just see how it compares to ChatGPT. I wonder if you just ask all of them a short question, if you'd get word for word the same answer. Because they've all bought the data from the same places, I guess. How does open? I don't know why, but I think I use the file system so infrequently that every time I see it, it's like I forgot everything, but then when I read through the code, I'm like, oh yeah, this is simple. Happens all the time with this. I was like, well, where is the value coming from? I don't have a value, but we're creating it here. And that's just a very basic loop. You'll notice I'm not copy and pasting that. I don't like to copy and paste. If I've forgotten some concepts, I'll type it just to get it back in my memory. So if you're just tuning in and you see in the code saying, is the file open? This is also, at the same time, it's opening the file, but it's opening the file and then returning a true or false, whether it was successful. Okay, so this is going to put some space. Yeah. There definitely needs to be so for my channel, I think I need live streams, and then I need probably 50% of the time just not streaming and making some progress and having more to show on my next stream. That's where that's one of the strengths of Tokyo Spliff. And also I think the best thing about his channel is the channel name. You know, I'd guess you could make a channel called Tokyo Spliff 1 or just Tokyo_Spliff. And YouTube is that big that you could steal his whole vibe, and you could get 10,000. You could build a successful channel, and of course people would know, and you would look lame, but you could do that. Don't do it, but you could. I remember when I used to sell technology. I used to sell for like 5 years, And I was always amazed that there was always some stupid person that would come. There's always someone coming in the store and knows nothing about anything. And after 3-4 years, I was like, surely people know how to use a laptop or a PC now. And there's always going to be people that are just at the bottom of the knowledge chain. Tokyo Ham. Tokyo Drift. So my name is Ryan. So Albert Ryanstein. I was on a video call when I was in the Middle East, and there was a picture of Albert Einstein in a room that I was renting. They want my picture, and they just said, "Who's on the picture?" And I looked. I was like, "Oh, it's Albert Ryanstein." I just made a little pun, and that was how I chose the channel name, as just a placeholder. So it's not my great name. I just haven't changed it to anything yet. And I might get stuck with it on that basis. So yeah, you can call me Albert, but it's Ryan. Also, we say Einstein, but I know the pronunciation is Einstein. I don't know how people say it in America. So they might see Albert Ryanstein and not make the connection. Okay, that's like 5 lines accomplished. Is that in the right place? Why did they put... Hit subscribe. I can see you lurkers. I know you lurkers have been sniffing around here promising you're going to start a project for the last 12 months and you didn't start yet. I think I had one guy, he stopped coming to my channel because I would always call him out when he didn't do anything. Okay. Else. Just for anyone that's new here, I'm not normally this slow. We'll go with that. Save vector to file. More than 0. I forgot what I said. I don't know if you are. You've got more. I don't know if you've got more in your engine than me, but you've got more of a solid product than me. I think I've just got things that don't really belong. I've got something over here that does something that has nothing to do with this. Yeah, I mean, you've got animation. It seems like you've got reflections. Did I see indoors? You've got models. And also you've got a scene, right? Mine just loads up and it's just empty. I think because I'm not really a coder. Like, I've just learned to code on this project and the previous one. Excuse me. Okay, let's see if that works. Cherno met a woman. I think I was on his stream a year ago and he was talking about how he's always single. The reason he's single is because when he starts his video, he does that hand thing and says it's the Cherno. That's the reason he's single. True story. I can pass that message on to him if I ever become a large channel. My brother said to me recently, so I've just got an iPhone. He says, "A woman nice." Yeah, that was just my banter of why he's single. But I know he was single for a while. No, I'm single, but my brother said the reason I'm single is because I have an Android. It's probably true, but I'm on a iPhone now. Okay, so that should have just saved based on what I just did in the code. I didn't create a button yet to save the vertices. I should just save, and whenever I hit that button, let me see. Let me check Windows Explorer. I wonder if my brother's up in bed laughing. It's a good reason to not get an iPhone. Yeah. Okay, there's vertices. Wow. We have saved vertices. Let me bring that into the video. Is that it? No. No. Window capture. Oh, it's done it. So now this is font size like 500. So that's all the data for the terrain saved. But then what we need a button. This is what I mean, like I have a few funky tools like this to flatten the terrain, but I don't have a... So then when I start flattening the world, it'll make it better, more powerful. I need a button so I can save the progress. And import it. But then there's also the normals and the UVs and the indices. Yeah. You mean in the channel? Yeah, I think it was like 10 or 11 earlier. I think. So I don't know why. I think it's probably just different factors. I don't think it's the amount of subscribers. I think that helps. I think it will be engagement in chat, the music if it's loud, the thumbnail. So just any thumbnail. So if you're still streaming now, on the bottom of your chat is edit video. You probably know all this anyway. Just get a thumbnail in. I don't know what the most I've had in it. I think it might be 20 something. And that was quite normal for me when I was streaming in the Middle East. Just once I got past an hour or two. Okay, so we saved the indices. Like if this channel gets recommended to somebody right now and they have to click it, they will see what's on. I think. Not always the thumbnail. I think they'll see either the thumbnail or what's on the screen. Probably what's on the screen because it's live. So they see someone talking, engaging. There's a demo at the top left. They'll hear the music if they put the mouse over. They'll see a bit of a to-do list. So they just see action really. A bit of a background picture. So just the whole visual thing. Sweet, okay, so that's that bit done. And what do I need next? So essentially I'm going to be making the same function. And also, I think the microphone, it talks to people's subconscious. It's like, okay, this is a professional streamer. Because you don't really... Of course you need it practically, but I think we're just used to seeing like the presentation. I'm not sure when the mic went off. Was that just muted for a second, hopefully? But yeah, I've been trying to get my dad to stream. He does a bit of gaming. And it would be good if you could build up a channel. That'd be cool. He's just completed, he's nearly 60. He's just completed Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, and Breath of the Wild. I ain't completed any of those. Hit subscribe. I can see a lot of people chilling for 10 minutes, then bouncing. Yeah, I want to get him streaming because he's the older generation. I think it would just... He's got a good look as well. He's got like a really big beard, grey beard. He's got more hair than me. It'd be good. And also, you just need to be relatable. So if there's times where he's just not, if he's stuck and he's struggling, that can be entertainment. That can be relatable. And also people would engage with that. Okay, save vector to file. So what is within... I'm just trying to think, save vector. Yeah, there's I think one or two of them quit recently, which was interesting. But I do respect that. There's a guy, I think he was a real sniper in the US military, and now he plays like COD and he talks through the wind and he talks through the shots. Okay, vertices here. Where is it? I've just forgotten how the layout is completely. So it's a float. Three floats per point, one after the other. Streams. I'm just thinking what I can do now. I can do the thing to load the vertices as well. So I keep knocking the mic. But, and even if I don't fix the normals and don't do the normals or the indices yet, I can still have a load. I can still load and unload and save the vertices and just test the concept. So I might do that shortly. Does anybody, so Control and Z and is it Shift and Control and Z is redo or undo? Does anybody ever press that to go back to the last position? If I need to go up a files and lines to the place where I last typed, I just press undo, Control and Z, and it takes you there. I don't know if other people do that. It's my little hack. I'm sure they do. Okay, so what I've got here, let's have a look. On the GPT. So this saved a vector to a file, and then there's a save vec3, a function to save a vector of GLM vec3. Was that for the colors? The normals. Man, I'm so tired. I don't want a coffee because I'll have to stay up. Normals. Why would normals be vec3? And vertices are what? I've just gone brain dead to jump to the left. Oh, can you do that? Nice. That's good. So Control and G to jump to a specific line number. I didn't know that. Actually, I've often thought there's probably a lot I should do some Visual Studio tutorials. I'm just going to be honest. Why is vec3 used for the normals save and not vertices? I think some people would hide this, you know, when I'm stuck and I look stupid. I just don't care. I don't care. I think it's relatable. And if it's not, there's not enough people here to tell me. Nobody's talking. It's all good. Tomorrow I will know this, and yesterday. Vertices vector is a flat array of GL floats. Yes, where every consecutive represents X, Y, Z. That's why I'm like, why is it not a vector of 3 floats? Oh, okay, so it's just because in my code I specified that. So I think there was no real reason for that, except I did it. If I'm wrong, tell me tomorrow when I'm awake. Yeah. I think we kind of know, if you've been coding before ChatGPT came out, we kind of know that there's only a level that you want to be relying on this to. But anyone in their early 20s, and even us really, this is the new norm. It's the new way of learning. Maybe you don't retain as much, I don't know. Because this makes learning lazy, but your career is still going to push you to your limit. That's what careers do. Otherwise, the next person takes your job. So learning is always going to be the optimal. So maybe people just become better. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a twist of irony where it will be us that were learning the hard way, then came to this. Maybe we will suffer the most, and people who've got it easy, maybe they will be the best. I don't know. Right, whoever just left, I was on 10 viewers. That was double figures. Okay, so save a vector to file, and we will type this up manually. The good news is most of these I don't need to do. It would just be indices in this, because this is not used. Yeah. Oh, there's not much anyway. Famous, yeah. I don't know what my most consecutive is, but I remember, so the first time I streamed successfully, I was in a coffee shop, so I couldn't really talk. I think I was typing, but you could see me, but I was typing. And somebody even said, you should talk. And I explained. And I was on for like 3 hours. It was not a good stream, but if there might be some interest for some people. And then I shut the stream down after 2 or 3 hours. And it said I had 150 views in that stream, or maybe it was like 70. I don't remember. And I was just really shocked. I was like, wow. And because there's only ever 3 or 4 at a time then, and it was that bad stream, it wasn't planned, that really made me think, right, I'm going to keep doing this. Yo, what's good? I'm kind of new to coding, no HTML, Python, but I'm out of high school, yes. The coding career over for entry level. I think HTML was one of the first languages. I did QBasic. People will say HTML is not a language. It doesn't matter, it gets you thinking, so you can call it a language if you want, especially if you're new on the journey. And we'll let you call Python a language as well. But I'm out of high school, yes. Is the coding career over for entry level? Can you ask that question again in another way? I just want to know what you're asking. But continue learning for sure. 1, for fun. 2, just for growth, development, and I'm assuming you like coding as well. No, I don't think coding's over, because coding is creative. It might be expressed in a different way. And also there's going to be so many studios that just don't want to bring AI in too much, and I think you'll see some of that. But also I'm happy for other people to jump in. The Hambone is a software developer, so it's his job. Full time. Is AI taking over? I'll definitely be interested to see what other people want to say on this. I'm not an expert. I mean, right now, so I've been coding a game engine, and as I do that, I get stuck a lot. So then it might take me a week to fix a big problem, but it's mostly fun. You're enjoying it. Sometimes, as you know, it's not fun. You doubt in yourself, and you don't want to do it. You have a day or 2 off. But now AI and ChatGPT has come in. I'm no longer stuck for a week. I'm stuck for an hour or 2 days or a few hours, and so it's sped up my whole process. But what I do and what I'm doing here is when I get help, I make sure I learn what it's telling me. Otherwise, I feel like I'm cheating a bit. I enjoy that I'm creating. So I mean, I guess I'm probably double your age potentially. I'm 30s, and I'm gonna be still coding in 10 years or something similar in the field. But I'll be developing games for the next 5 years definitely. And what I learn doing that, my brain is going to develop, and then that what I become will propel me into the next field. So you have to keep learning. And when you get this block telling you don't do it, it's not worth it, AI, blah blah blah, you just got to get over it. They're just some generic nearly 4 AM thoughts. Save vec3 to file. I don't think anybody knows what it's going to be like in like the next 6 years. So AI is almost a branding. So people are just taking the label AI and sticking it on everything. And people are like, oh, this has got AI. This has got AI. The vacuum cleaner has got AI. The I don't know. The car heated seats have now got AI. But like Photoshop, which is 30 years old, it has been AI for most of its life. Filters on a picture are AI. GPS, sat navigation, it's artificial intelligence. Code is AI in a lot of areas. So what I'm saying is AI applications will help you code. It'll be like instead of having your lecturer who you can call on in studying class to help you, you can ask your question in real time to the AI agent and get help. Save vec3 to file. I need more water. What's What's Ham? Oh, Ham AI. Yeah. Okay, Vic 3. Wait a minute. But I'm not. There's other people get mixed opinions. See what other people say. Void is not allowed. Where did I do an error? I'm going to make what I would call a god simulation. So where you're overseeing a society, maybe like an ancient mankind. You've got to collect resources and build some huts and deal with. So like a simulation, deal with the weather and. I don't want to say Age of Empires, not as much combat. But I just want to create a simulation and just add systems. There's going to be no death at first. And I don't know if I'd call it a game at first, but just to see it all, almost like the Earth, just to see things like growing and interacting. And then if you do that for a year as you're building it, you're going to get a lot of ideas. Because you want something unique. And then I will start to answer that question, what I'm going to create. I want something at least a little bit original. Okay, homie, where's my stupid typo? You know, sometimes I can't see what I've typed wrong, so I just write the thing again when I'm tired. I don't do that often, but it's happened. And it might be is it the Vec 3? Not recognized. Vec const standard string. What's your current situation, Rico? Like, you've just graduated, or I'm not out of high school? Oh, that was meant to say yet instead of yes. Okay. I'm not out of high school yet. What's that YouTube channel, Tech with Tim? I think he started teaching when he was probably your age on YouTube. It would be good to follow as well. Although he might have a full beard by now. Tech with Tim. Okay, there was a typo. If there's a few of you who've not said hi in chat, it would help me if you just tell me how you found the channel. I know somebody's like, oh, it just came on next on the playlist. just randomly came on next. Okay. Off stream. File name. If file.is. It is open. A range-based for loop. So the auto word keyword just loops the vector, which we've defined here, named here. And then we're using the stream operators. To get all three elements. I think this might be the first thing I've actually coded. I know I've been streaming again for 2 weeks, but I've not really
This world has room for everyone.
done much. Just been tweaking things and getting set up.
It can provide for everyone. The way of life to be free and beautiful.
Let's see if the Hamburn is still streaming, which is still live. Brother's still live. Okay, what else? File.close. Actually, did I leave in the error handling? Did I do error handling? I don't think I did.
Oh, the ambient. I've still got the, let me move this out your way. I get so many errors in my console, I no longer look at them. It's just, that kind of sums up human nature. Across, just across cultures. Okay, what did I give the file name? Oh yeah, I have to call it. I didn't call the function. So if I go, wait a minute, save vec3 to file. This was normals. And we're gonna call it normals.text. And here I will just see if they're saved. Maybe I'll just show you on screen. What time is it here? Nearly 4 AM. Okay, let's just pause and let me see if we have a normals file. There we are, there's a normals file.
there's the vertices. I don't know why it wouldn't do a new line. I guess why? I guess it wouldn't matter. Now the vertices is interesting because is this also the place number? Like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 17, 18, 19. Because it's a grid, it's 0 to 128, 0 to 128, and then at each point it will have, I guess it would just have the height, it would just have the Y value. So at the first corner it's 0, and the next one along is a little bit higher. These numbers will always be quite close because the terrain's quite smooth. So you shouldn't see a number like 4.5 and then the next one, you see that they're still quite close, every third number. Like even if a mountain's really big, it goes up gradually. So 8 and then go to the third number. I'll just show you in the terrain how that looks and works. Continue. So yeah, those numbers represent, those numbers are there. I draw in this world. Actually, I'm glad that I added these tools yesterday. Turn the grid and the sky and the water off. It's got the terrain. So all these, so this here, I don't know if you can see the mouse, is represented by the first, and then as the terrain gets a bit higher, 0.1, 0.15, it's the slope. But that 0.01, that might be the other corner, I don't know which corner it is. I think it is that one. Sweet, so that was vertices or normals. Yeah, the vertices, that makes sense. And the normals, I think, define which way they're facing, right? Yeah. And we can put the grid and the water, everything else back on, the sky. Let's have some sun. A bright sun. Sweet. Okay, so what's next? Let's see what's next. Sorry, the pace is a bit slow. It's just me. These are the vibes. Okay, I'll just turn the engine off and go back to the functions. I hate when it doesn't loop back on the search. So Shift and F3 will search backwards if you're looking to search for your code. You probably know that if you're coding. By the way, if you engage in chat, if you hit like or subscribe, it will bring more people in. If you want to unsubscribe next month, that's all good. No hard feelings. Save indices to file. Okay, and I will do this manually as well. They're quite easy functions, but I just want to save indices. I just want to get some of this back in my memory. So constant means I can't change the data. Yes. So if I don't put the word constant on these functions, or const, it essentially means within the function, when you're saving it, you're saving your vertices to a file, you could do a little typo and you could change the vertices if you directly did that in the code by mistake. But putting const or constant will stop you doing that. It won't allow you to change the value of the vector. So the heights, it won't let you create errors basically. So when you load up the terrain that you've edited, it's going to be sure to be the same. And I think I point that out because I often forget. But it's bad practice to not do it. So, okay, so standard vector, of course, and indices is going to be the original. So just a number. This is like the indices is the ordering, I believe, of drawing your vertices. Unsigned int. So an integer is just the whole number. I don't know why they went with vet. I guess yeah, it makes sense. And the string, so you pass a file name in, and we'll do this manually later with a save and open dialog, so you can put your own file name in. Okay, so obstream I think is like out file stream, so it's to save something. Then there's in, and then there's another one that lets you do both. It might be IO stream. Yeah, so you could use the function to save something or to load something. But if you're only using it for one purpose, it's probably more efficient to just keep it specific. File. So we will pass this function a file name later in the code, and then it's referenced here. So whatever is received, it like hooks into that name. This is not me teaching, it's just like it's more giving you a bit of a concept. And then it's if. So we've created a file, and we're going to say if Windows has opened it, really. Then what we will do a loop. So whatever we're going to do now is going to be looped, because we're going to go through every part of the vector, like every part of the database for all the numbers, and we're going to do the same thing with every entry. We're going to put every one into a text file. So the loop just allows us to write the code once. So an automatic loop, a range loop. We will take every individual unique entry in the vector, and we will access it by with the name value. And again, this isn't teaching, so if you're watching and you don't fully understand, I'm just giving concepts. And if some of you already know a little bit, you'll understand this. And file. So you see the way the arrows are going, something's being received into the file, and each individual file value is going into our file here, which we have a file name for. And then between every one of those entries, we put in a space. Like you see on the text files on the side on the notepad, there was a space. You could put a comma. It's basically, it's a separator. So it's how when you load it up, you look for that space, and then you know that's where one value ends and the other one begins. You have to have you have to know what's separating it. So it could be a comma value or a space or a period. New line maybe, /n. And then respect to the statement. I've done something dumb, but I don't know what. I've been getting a lot of these greens. I've done it elsewhere. File is open. Yeah, I just missed a colon. A curly bracket. So when I get 60 more subscribers, it's the first. There's 2 tiers of being. There's like 2 membership levels. There's 2 tiers to be monetized. The first is 500 subscribers. The second is 1,000. So it should be maybe a week till I get the 500. Maybe 2 weeks, let's say, to be safe. And file close. And then we're going to have a little error message else. So if the file is open, we will save it into the file name here, and otherwise we just want an error message. But maybe okay, so actually I have a logger, like a debug tool. So what I would do is I'll do an output to the console and say unable to open indices file within engine.h. But also we'll have something, so the logger will come on the screen. We don't need that. Oh, great. I copied and pasted just a bad example. Okay, so it's a string. Because this error message here, console C out is console out, so it will come onto like the MS-DOS window, so you won't really see it unless you go searching for it. But my logger will come onto the screen on the game engine at the top, and we can give it different colors and so on. I think I can do a string. Unable to save terrain to file. And then what kind of error message is it? Or I think 1 is the best. Min height is not being used. I might need to create a string. I don't know. My neck is hurting because I'm looking at so many different screens. It's the first time I've had this problem. Pause logging off. Export. continue. Now pause login. Oh, that's interesting. Physics. Why is it generated that log? These are other error messages or model messages. Show physics. But if it didn't work, the error message would have come here. So that should mean that it's... No, wait, I didn't call that function. I created the indices function, but I didn't call it. So if I save indices to file, and what do I just send it? Just indices. Yeah, it's just a vector. And indices.text. It might not be called indices here, so we're looking for what? Just lowercase. So we're just going to see if that's saved. And this is all for, on the to-do list, just on the far left of the screen, the terrain saving and loading, so the second one. I think there's another one that was going to use it as well, but yeah, the terrain saving and loading, so we'll be able to save the terrain. And below that, you can't see it, or maybe I removed it, but I wanted to save a scene, so when we load some 3D models. Let's turn shaders off, clear the log. Generate some terrain. Okay, so no error message. So if I go to Windows Explorer, there should be an indices file. Yeah, and you're looking at it on the right. So this is the ordering now. This is a way that it's a way to be more efficient with OpenGL and just drawing 3D models, but it's basically, you see all the triangles, this is the order that the dots will be joined in, and instead of manually sort of coding it, you force it. But it's more resourceful. Indices. Okay, so now we have saving for vertices, normals, indices, and I just need textures, I think. UVs. Thanks to Hambone. No days off. Yeah, this is probably 15 days now for me. Okay, so I've got all that working, and tomorrow I'm going to turn that into nah, let's do it now. Let's create a save button. This is important stuff. Okay, so where would we put a save button? I think here. So export to raw, this is what generates the terrain, and below that we're going to have save terrain, and then it will call, so every time if we start modeling the terrain, we start making it flat, adding some water, all these vertices that get saved when we create the terrain, they're going to be different because we've now gone custom, we've made it more custom. So we're going to put a button there. How often do you work on your project? it's a layered question. So I've been streaming every day for 2 weeks, but to be honest, 50% of those streams, maybe more, I wasn't ready to get deep into the code. There's just some complex problems to solve, and I've just been stressed or whatever. But I've still streamed, so I've still gone on for 1, 2, 3 hours and streamed. So I've worked on the project, but the progress wasn't great, and I knew that was going to be the case. But I just wanted to stream, and just maybe I was fixing some small issues. So it's almost like the focus wasn't great. And then before those 2 weeks, I had 2 months off. I was in the Middle East in a war zone. Some of you get sick of hearing this because I've told you before, and that's why I was probably needed to unwind and not code for so long. Now I'm just tired because it's 4 a.m. so now I'm fine, and now I'm just getting back into things. So I'm quite consistent daily. So we'll put all of these in a larger function. We'll just call it save all. My voice is going a bit. I need water, but I don't want to leave my seat just yet. Okay, so we will have a function called, I'm using DeepSeek, by the way. I normally use ChatGPT if I need some troubleshooting. So what I would do, I would take that, and we're going to create a function called save terrain. I prefer that, save terrain data. And then within this function, it would just call these functions. So then we have to do this once. No, not a journalist. I was there. I went on a short holiday, and then people started invading each other. And it's not funny in any way. It's just the irony and the timing. But I guess I wasn't the only one who just landed there for a holiday. Why is it giving me... Wait a minute, how did that work without a semicolon? Oh. Did I really just paste that there? No, so I have friends on every side of the conflict. Was it the white shirt? That's why you thought I was a journalist. You don't know that, but it was the white shirt. I missed your other comment. Yeah, like, so to be honest, I don't really have, so I'm really struggling with animation, and people don't always hear it when you say it, but I know it's not that difficult, but I just know I'm just too tired to do. I need to turn the stream off tomorrow. I need to do 8 hours and fix the animation problem, and that's it. But it's just that's boring. I'd rather stream, because I've still got other options of things to introduce and fix, and that's just how I work. The creative mind, like you need that dopamine hit. Yeah, the shit. Yeah, unlucky. Yeah, I booked just a few days before it all started. Things are very messy, but I think there's going to be some form of peace soon. Obviously, what's happened has happened. Bad things have happened. Why is it giving me beef with that? Oh wait, because that doesn't exist. Not yet, it doesn't. Where are we? You can see no, what was it? Yeah, tell us more about what you're working on. Normals, UVs. So this is a safe space. So the problem was normals was defined further up. Maybe still it is. I wonder if normals is defined actually in a small scope. I can see there's an error with the lowercase, but it was working here. Hence, that can't be the problem. There's normals. So what we need to do is, yeah. I appreciate that. I'm glad as well. And what you're working on, maybe you're just checking out for the night now, but if you're still around, what are you working on? Yeah, I need to define this in a wider scope. So I don't know how, because this is preserving space for the normals. Nice. Do you do any streaming? Because it might be interesting to stay in touch if we have similar problems. I see some streams. Is that just games or is that your stuff? Or both? I'll subscribe anyway. We might be wishlisting each other's projects in 25 years. Okay, so I can make this. Where's vertices size? I can change the scope of this. I'm not sure if I can change the size. Don't watch those. Yeah. Nice. I hear good things about both of those engines. Okay, so I need to do a resize. I'll show you what I mean. So here I'm declaring a vector called normals, a vec3, not a vector. And I'm giving it a reserved space based on, no, a vector of vec3s. Of course, I'm reserving space based on the size of vertices and maybe multiplied by the type. But because I've already created that now here, we can just do a resize. So that should go. Oh no, that won't go. But that should do that. Yeah, stick around. Give me an update every couple of months. Feel free to subscribe. Sometimes you bump into somebody with the same problem and it just can keep you motivated. Okay, so what was I doing? I was save all, was it? Save terrain data. So now I need a switch. So there's no errors here now. So export raw, I believe it was called. Export to raw. That's where this is the button. Yeah, thanks for checking in. Tried to get multiplayer working from the get-go. Enjoy and learn about version methods for syncing state and events. You know, just hearing you say about multiplayer makes me want to just go to an engine just to make that easier. Oh, this is not good. So why did I search for export? Because this is a button. And we said we're going to put my button, my new button next to that button. Okay, so save terrain data. So if we're creating a button and then we're saying if we press it, then what we need to do is call the function. It was save something. Now that engine, the terrain engine was saved and the global accessible by terrain dot. Then save will give us all of our saves, and save terrain data calls all three of those functions. So it should save everything to file. Yeah, you're right, it's no fun. But I think what is interesting now is, so an engine you would say is a lot easier, but they've become that complex. I think you can have just as much stress. It is easier, but it can be just as deep as doing something yourself. Okay, so I'm going to have something 16. So all the other projects, terrains I saved in the notepad at the bottom were just 16 by 128 by 128. I was have a 16. I will save terrain data. I need to create a little message there to say data saved. And now let me open the indices. Okay, so the indices file I've just opened, as you can see, is empty. And that's because I didn't create it. So that means it's working. It's deleted the last one. Now if I save it, where's that gone? Where did all this come from? I'll just scroll up. Save terrain data. Open indices. Perfect. Okay, so the indices hasn't changed. The normals are there. And the vertices, it's all there. So now we're saving terrain. So we've got almost half a save function. So when I'm crafting, some of you wouldn't have seen this, but when we make some real terrain like this, and we start to get a terraform on, you want to save, you want to start saving what you're doing. And then we just hit save. It's interesting that I've had an engine for a year and you've never been able to save it. That's because it's still very foundational what we're doing. Just little tools. So on the left of the screen, terrain saving and loading. Maybe that'll be finished in the next 2 days, I would say. Okay. I'm going to go to sleep, I think. It's 4:30. If you've enjoyed watching along, hit subscribe, like. I think even dislike might get me up on the algorithm because YouTube just feed off that angry energy and the engagement. But hit like and subscribe. Hey, it was cool to chat as well, Accumulator. Yeah, it can be a lot less intense knowing you made all the important stuff you rely on. That's true. Yeah, jump in the chat one time and send us some stuff. It's always good to hang out. Interestingly, I've just noticed the music stopped in the last minute or two as well. So that was almost a 2-hour stream. And I wasn't going to stream today. Good night, guys.